Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm giving my review of the Blu F91 5G. So before I get started in with this review, I'm currently recording this at full 1080 at 60 frames per second on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. It looks kind of dark on screen. We got to see how it looks here after the finished video. I try my best to get it to brighten up, but we'll see how it does overall in this video. So I kind of wanted to just share that there. Now the Blu F91 5G is a phone that's been out for like 2 months now, and honestly, it's a very good performing phone. If you watch my video, the comparison between the G91 Max and the F91 5G. Pretty similar, but you got a more powerful processor in this phone, as well as 5G compatibility, and I will give you some specs along the way as I'm doing in this video. So starting off first here is the design. Now of course this is a plastic design all the way around, except for the glass in the front for the screen of course. Now back here you do have your quad camera setup with your flash. On the right is your power button that doubles as a fingerprint scanner. On top, you just got a secondary microphone. On the left of the phone, you have your volume rocker as well as your SD and SIM tray. And on the bottom, of course, is your headphone jack, bottom firing speaker, and your Type-C charging port and microphone. So powering the phone up here, the screen looks really good, okay? Now, what you're getting here is a 6.8 inch full HD display coming in at 1080 by 2460. It is an IPS LCD display with 84.8 screen to body ratio with 395 pixels per inch. Now this is a 60 hertz display, so no 90 hertz, no 120 here. It is just your typical 60 hertz display. Now, looking at the phone and looking at, how the screen looks, the screen is just very vibrant. It's very clear. I mean, now I know over the past, I'm going to hit on this now, get it out of the way. I know that in the past, and I know that even now, people's got kind of a sour taste of using a Blu phone because, they bought a Walmart phone from Blu for like $40 5 years ago, and it was a horrible experience, and they just won't touch another Blu phone. However, the newer phones like the G91 Pro, 91 Max, F91 5G, and a few others, they have really stepped up their game. And I'm telling you, these are some very good phones that perform very well, that has very minimal issues, if any. Of course, for the price you can get this phone at $249. You're going to have sacrifices here and there. That's just a given. If you want a flagship phone with flagship specs, buy a flagship phone. You ain't going to get that on a phone that costs $250, okay? It is what it is. But for what you're getting, this is a very, very premium type phone with a very good experience for the price. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. Blu is coming a long way. They're doing really good things with their phones. So now performance has been great here on this phone since I have used it and I have had it, okay? This phone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 810 octa-core processor. Now, someone says a budget processor. To me, it's a good mid-range processor. It performs very well. It does what you want it to do. Of course, depending on your 5G, LTE, your Wi-Fi, loading times is going to always be different. If you got slow Wi-Fi and the phone feels slow, it could be your internet. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of factors factor in. I don't care if it's $1,000 phone or a phone that costs $250. Okay, if your internet's slow, your phone's going to be slow. So, but overall, the performance has been good. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's the only configuration it comes in, and storage is 128 gigs with SD card expansion. So it's nice to see SD card expansion here on this phone. You can add your photos and videos to further save for your games and apps to go into your internal storage, which is really nice. Now, as far as the cameras go, like I said, a quad camera setup, and back here you're getting a 48 megapixel wide angle lens with aperture of f1.8. a 5 megapixel ultra wide lens, aperture of f2.2, and a 2 megapixel macro and depth sensor. And you are able to record at 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p at 30 frames per second. For the front camera, you got the little hole punch camera up top here. It is 16 megapixels with aperture of f2.0, and it can record at 1080p at 30 frames per second. And camera quality has been pretty solid on this phone. Now, of course, if you're in lower lighting and you're not in the greatest lighting, you know, like outside or whatever, of course, you may experience some grain. It may not take the clearest photos, stuff like that, in the videos and everything. But like I said, $250, okay? And, you know, if you go on Amazon, sometimes you can get it for $199, $229, $249. You never know what the deals are going to be here on these on any phone, to be honest with you. So, I mean, overall, cameras are good on this phone. Microphone quality seems to pick up pretty good as well. Now, when we go in here and look at the battery, yeah, you know, your battery's going to last. Okay, you got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and it's got 18 watt quick charge, and it's also got 10 watt fast wireless charging and reverse charging. So, I mean, you got all of that, okay? 5,000 milliamp battery. Yes, 18 watts ain't the fastest in the world, but no room to complain about, to be honest, for the price. 10 watt wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. So, I mean, if I got the phone laying here and I got a pair of Bluetooth earbuds, turn that on, set the earbuds back here, and it will charge up the earbuds. You can charge up phones, you can charge up, you know, earbuds or whatever the case may be. So, really nice feature there, and for $250, pretty solid. Now, you do got a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and how does that work? Well, let's test it out. It works fine. I mean, you tap it and boom. I mean, you're in the phone. Now, of course, face unlock. Let's test that out right now. You can see it's not bad. I mean, I'm looking at it here. Of course, depending on how you're looking at it, it's going to be faster or slower, but it's not bad at all. And the side-mounted fingerprint scanner seems to work 100% of the time. It's quick, it's fast, and there's no issue there. Now, this phone does run Android version 11. You know, some will say, you know, well, it should have Android 12 and all this other stuff. Well, I mean, there's other phones as well right now being released with Android 11, you know, and not Android 12. We're on the heels of Android 13, what, in the fall? So, I mean, if it's got 12, it's got 12. If it's got 11, it's got 11, okay? Now, if you want to know about the bands for your LTE, for your 5G, and all of that, you know, I'll read them off to you here. So your 4G LTE bands are 2, 4, 5, 12, 13, 17, 25, 26, 41, 66, and 71. And for your 5G bands, you got band 2, 5, 25, 41, 66, 71, and 77. Okay, now this does work on T-Mobile just fine. AT&T, I would be very wary about it if you got AT&T and buying this phone. However, I have Red Pocket Mobile, like I've mentioned in multiple videos, that works on AT&T's network, and this phone works flawless on Red Pocket using AT&T's network. So, you know, that's might be something you want to check out there if you want to be able to use any phone that you want to, along with this 4G voice over LTE and stuff like that. So, yeah, without any restrictions like AT&T or Cricket. So, yeah. But anyway, like I said, the processor being the Dimensity 810, the new MediaTek chips have came a long way. They've came a long way. They're doing very well. I'll show you a Geekbench 5 test that I took, and it's not that bad. As you see here, we got a single core score of 577 and a multi-core score of 1689. Now, you might think that don't seem very, very high and all like that or whatever, but if you scroll over to single core and we see that we're at 577 and kind of compare it, it's in between like the Redmi K20 Pro at 652 and the Poco X3, which is running the 732G and the 855. So, not bad there, 1689, which is basically almost half of the S21 Ultra. But going down to 1689, we are around the 845 to 732G. So honestly, these scores here are not bad at all. It performs very well. I am going to do a game. Of course, I always do one, round of Asphalt 9. So let's go ahead and get that powered up. Okay, so startup's pretty quick here. This is a whole new account here on Asphalt 9. I am on the highest quality settings, and I'll go ahead and prove that right here by going into game settings here and sound and display. You'll see right there I'm on high quality, which is the highest quality we can go. So let's back out of that, or let's just go back home here, and we'll get into a game. All right, we'll just play this one here. Got one car and everything. We'll go ahead and play, and we'll see how the gameplay is. And honestly, I've not seen any issues so far, even in high quality. Now, of course, I don't know how the higher end games, the ones that, like these new games that are 10, 12 gigabytes, they may be not as good as some flagship phones, but I don't know. But anyway, and we're off here. And as you can see, of course, it's telling me how to double tap. Yeah, like I haven't played this game enough. I've done this before. Come on now. So as you can see, there is literally no drop frames. I mean, it is working flawless here. So you can see right there that, I mean, gameplay, there is no drop frames in the highest setting. And I mean, it just works very, very well. And I open up Geekbench there again. Now, as far as some of these higher end games like Genshin Impact that I'm hearing a lot about, even some of the top flagship phones struggle with that game in the high settings. So I don't play that game, so I can't test that out. But don't expect it to, of course, probably perform flawlessly. But for games like Asphalt 9, which is also a pretty power hungry game itself, it does just fine. Now, like I may have mentioned before, this has a full 1080p display, and the display looks really good. The bottom firing speaker is only a single speaker, so it'd be nice if Blu would actually add dual speakers. Sound is okay. I was going to play a sound clip, but honestly, I mean, it's just your average bottom firing speaker. I mean, it gets fairly loud. You can hear it ring. You can hear notifications. You can watch YouTube videos, and all. Like, I've got a headphone jack as well. And, so I mean, the bottom firing speaker is going to be passable. I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing under the sun, but it does do okay. Now, taking a look here at the camera, just going through all of its features here, you can see we're in photo mode. You can go down to 0.6 for your ultra wide, all the way up to 4x zoom. Of course, over here in video, well, actually up here you got your flash, HDR. Up here, of course, is your filters and all that kind of good stuff going on there. Your AI. So, of course, if you push AI, it's going to show you what you're taking a picture of and stuff like that. And also going to the settings here, you got picture size, brand watermark, zero shutter delay, just your typical stuff that you see in all these cameras. For video mode, the same zoom, okay, up to 4x zoom. And up here, you can see up here, we got well, it's actually 2K. It says 4K, but it's actually 2K recording. I thought it was 4K, that's what it says here, but evidently, yeah, it's 2K, 1080p, 720, and 480, which honestly, 2K is fine. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that, Now over here at portrait, you take your portrait shots. Of course, you can make it more blurry, less blurry, whatever you want to do there, and all that kind of good stuff. And now over here at more, you got all this good stuff here, like night mode. You got pro mode, 108 megapixel, your GIF mode, whatever, your beauty mode, macro mode, slow motion, all that good stuff there. So, plenty of good stuff here going on here. And the front camera is also very good as well. You got your portrait mode, of course, for your front camera. See, hello, right there. Does very well for portraits. You got your picture size, brand watermarks, and stuff like that. Of course, your photo modes. You're going to have the same exact stuff here as well. But now in here in video, you can see that the max is going to be 1080p and 720 and down from there. So cameras are not bad. Okay, cameras are going to do you just fine here on this phone. So, you know, call quality is good. You know, reception is also pretty solid. Wi-Fi connection is solid. The color looks really nice here. You can see it's got some smudges back here. You know, so if you, I mean, it comes with a nice case, but I mean, the design is really good. You know, overall, a good phone. Is it worth $250? I would say absolutely. I would not hesitate one bit to pick this phone up for $250. It's a great phone. I thought it was going to work on Verizon. I tried it on Verizon through Visible. It would not work. I heard someone say that it would work, but I tried it. It would not work whatsoever. So, you know, T-Mobile works just fine. If you have an MVNO like Red Pocket Mobile with AT&T's network, you should be fine. If you got actual AT&T or Cricket, you might be in trouble. I really don't know. Take that chance. But, you know, my overall thoughts of using this thing here, it's a solid phone. And I recommend it 100%. I think it's a good one, and I think that you would like it as well. So, this is my review of the Blu F91 5G. If it's helpful and informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, clicking that bell, turn it on to receive all notifications of future videos. That'd be appreciated. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.